Then I would move over to Dario Di Santo, Director of the Italian Federation for Energy Efficiency. And Dario will be speaking in English, is that correct?
Yes, it is correct.
You have the English flag on, very good. I give you the spotlight now. You have a PowerPoint presented, perfect. Dario, it's your choice now.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you to all the organizer of this very interesting webinar for inviting me. So I want to just start with the main question, which was in the agenda for my speech. And it is, if energy efficiency makes business sense, why do some invest and others don't? And I will add, does energy efficiency really make business sense? Well, when we speak about energy efficiency, usually we consider it cost effective. Of course, it is cost effective when it is avoiding waste and inefficient uses. In these cases, we don't need investment too, in many cases. And we have a lot of energy efficiency solutions which are cost effective. There are others that need public support, for example, deeper renovation in buildings. But generally speaking, we can say that energy efficiency is cost effective. By that meaning that it is in line with the requirements that, for example, CFOs fix for choosing to approve an investment in their companies. I'd like to highlight also another way of making energy efficiency, which is changing behaviors and rethinking businesses. This requires investment, of course, and also a different mindset, that is smart minds. We talk a lot about smart meters, smart networks, smart cities, but in order to have this equipment working in a smart way, we need smart minds. The interesting fact with changing behaviors and rethinking businesses is that it allows to grasp much more than the other options. And I really think this is fundamental to reach the decarbonization targets. And so we need to think about changing the way we live and passing from a step-by-step path to leaps that can allow us to move really faster. Just a brief example about transportation, which is the other priority in the 2030 horizon about policy. It is not to move from fossil fuel driven cars to electric ones. Of course, this is important, we need to do it. But really we have to think about our need to move. For example, through smart working, through with web conferences, we can really drop the need to move. And the interesting thing is that if we don't move, it doesn't matter if we have an electric car or if we have, for example, a Euro 3 diesel car, there will be no emission. This is the interesting part. So first of all, change our mindset about decarbonization. That said, we can say that energy efficiency is usually cost effective, but that doesn't mean that it does make business sense. And that is because it is unattractive. It is unattractive because, for example, it is complicated. It requires qualified operators, energy managers, energy experts, and so on. Its performance can be directly measured, and this is a problem, for example, with incentive schemes. It is not easy to communicate. Just look at environmental and sustainability report from large companies. You find a lot of photovoltaics of wind energy, but not so much about energy efficiency. It affects and impacts the existing assets, and that means you have to put your hands on such assets in order to implement energy efficiency actions. And last but not least, it isn't core business, and then it isn't a priority. So even if from a rational point of view, it makes sense, from an emotional point of view, usually it doesn't. And you can think about your attitude and your approach to energy efficiency at home, for example. to see if this is true for you also or not. So my question is there any possibility to make energy efficiency more attractive? And yes, I think there is an answer. Both Daniel and Paolo already spoke about co-benefits. I here speak about all the non-energy positive effects of energy efficiency. And by the way, the M-Benefits project tries to evaluate them a company side, whereas the other speakers refer to countryside. And the interesting thing is that if we think about that, we see how energy can improve the value proposition of companies, so the way they do business, and they can reduce their costs and the risks that they have to incur in to deliver such value proposition. So through assessing non-energy benefits, companies can produce more value for their shareholders and for society, increase their assets value and image, and free resources to grow and to compete. This is very important. And also families can live in a building which is more comfortable, more healthy, more safe, even more smart. So through non-energy benefits, we can really link energy and energy efficiency with what matters to people who decide if investing is good or not. That said, why do some invest in energy efficiency? Well, there are many reasons. One of them is there are people who care, lead and think differently. So they really care about environment, they really care about sustainability. And so sometimes they even don't need cost effectiveness to implement actions. Then there are other people, other companies who are triggered, for example, by energy audits or energy managers or good market operators who can highlight the benefits of energy efficiency. In other cases, it is just a question of having good leaders, good entrepreneurs, good CEO that can assume responsibilities about rational use of energy, set targets and plan how to reach them. Of course, if you have an energy management system like ISO 50001, all this can be more easier. Then there are people who understand how they can use energy benefits to really link energy with their core business. And we started seeing also this transformation in the last years. Finally, we have some people who just do what they are obliged to do. So this highlights the importance of obligations and minimum requirements. So I really agree with Paolo when I say we need all the set of different policies to achieve our targets. And there are also people who look for incentives. In this case, incentives are not needed to make energy efficiency cost effective, but to direct the attention of people towards energy efficiency action. Finally, we have a lot of investment to do in the next decade, and so maybe equity will not be enough. So it is very important to try to push energy performance contract, third-party financing in general, and also the capitalization and the growth of ESCOs and utilities, which deals with energy efficiency. So these are some of the points that explain why some people invest. And by the way, there are some tools that can be used to ensure that this happens in terms of policies. I'd like to close my presentation by mentioning the ENSMOV project, which is another Horizon 2020 financed project, which aims is just to assist and support policymakers, ministries and agencies in all EU member states in implementing and designing good energy policies to reach the targets towards 2030 and also beyond. So thank you for your attention, and I'm available for the debate.
Thanks a lot, Dario.